interstellar hyper-solving in the dark, and solves light a dim fading spark, rotting away reflecting on a worthless life, led by the cult leader, giving in strife.
In the temple of Hops I stand so proud, the glowing mark of Hops my shroud. No one will pass my nights of purple light.
So in the previous video, I was talking about taking a bunch of cough syrup and medication to alleviate the feeling I had with being sick. Guess what that did? It knocked me out completely. So now I'm back with even more energy than before, but I still have the sniffles. Let us select our part, and we will take it into local mode, and let's take it on a journey. And every part I look at, I'm like, oh, this part will be easy. And then I see a couple of areas that are, how hard can it be? We only have auto smooth as a modifier, so that means everything has been committed. So let us look at it from the side, and perhaps we can use a little bit of Insolve to help us out. We'll press W to exit. And of course, over the course of this, I am testing and putting out lettered releases just so you know what's going on. Like, I'm always trying to ensure the product is at its best, and that the only way to truly test that is to push the product to the limits and experience errors and bugs and complications. Basically, as long as I'm experiencing it, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful that if I experience it and not the user, we're in a good place. But if the user's running into it and they're reporting it as issues, then I get a little more frustrated. I'm more like, why am I being surprised by such tragic news? So this is what we'll start off with. And now we can jump back into nflow and deal with our, what I would consider to be regrettable actions. I mean, look at this. I mean, I did it. So I'm saying look at this as if I didn't do this. As if another tool did this. And what do we want? Do we want this to be the loop that continues on this? And let's look at this. Did we dissolve the wrong loop? Nope, we did not. So something like that. And let's just go along and kind of follow the guidance of this loop along it. You know, and these like near miss loop overlaps is something I want to especially study going forward with the product, because you know, these come up so often in modeling, and our goal is never to tell people, hey, you should model differently, you should model more serendipitously, where you have luck on your side. You know, you should model and make things the way that you need. You should make it the way that the client demands, and deal with the consequences, and of course, bill accordingly, which is a saying I have internally. Do it and bill it accordingly. But I need it. I need the thing. Bill accordingly. Or we will discuss it accordingly. Either one. So what we want to do is get rid of this one. And we're just kind of looking at what we're getting here. And I'm going to W out just so I can grab these two loops and really examine them. In fact, this edge, we probably don't want to mess with that edge for now. Oops, accidentally mirrored. And let's jump back in because I need the power of slide just to bring this back under control. And as I'm dissolving these, I'm seeing that the loop that we're running into is, yeah, I forgot about painting, guys. I'm sorry. I don't even have my reminder text up for the reminder system, and that's because I'm just experimenting with what it's like to be unaware. Otherwise, I could have it up, giving me awareness all the time, but I never studied the lack of awareness. I simply recognized that there was going to be an awareness situation occurring and just requested that we resolve it preemptively with the system that we have for that. But when it comes to awareness, that's something that I'm obsessed with. You'll see me retweeting things all the time, talking about just being aware in Blender, because there's so many things that happen that, you know, I feel are decisions that, you know, with proper awareness, we can make more intelligent decisions. But to do that, we have to have systems that, you know, give us that information. And I know I'm sounding like nonsense. You know, what am I talking about? What's this guy talking about? He sounds like talking about some CIA stuff. But no, just looking on screen and just seeing what's going on. Like, for example, the keystroke display. It has zero benefit to me. It's there just for you. It's only there for you. It's not there for me because I never look at my keys. I'm pressing them. I'm the one pressing the keys. But I would look at keystroke display as an awareness system. In fact, it's an awareness system I think so critical that it can't even be encompassed by Blender. You know, in case you ever wonder why I don't use screencast keys, it's because the one in Blender doesn't have the necessary functionality and flexibility that I need for it. Like, for example, if I go in menus or a modal, it'll stop measuring key input. And for a good keystroke display application to work right, it needs to always display the keystrokes being pressed first and foremost. That's its job. It can't ever fail that. But when in Blender, you know, things are added to a queue. You know, if there's one thing we talk about every week, it's the depths graph. I might do a song about the depths graph, just because it's such a crucial part of our lives. You know, every man wants a word with the depths graph, not in a bad way. Well, maybe a little bit. Let's see. We'll get that one, and that one, and we'll go back in, and I'm going to just bring in line. You know, line's not built for that purpose, but line will be used for whatever purpose I decide, is what I say every time, because line is going to be a powerhouse in this tool. But not yet. One moment while I blow my nose. Alright, so now I'm back. You know, I'll need some sort of workflow assistant tool for runny noses. You know, a man should be able to work even if his nose is runny. You know, look at me being a snot-nosed brat, basically. You know, because my nose is snotty. You know, also I haven't eaten since yesterday. I was actually quite hungry when I woke up, but my first thought was, wow, my vitality's back. I restored all of my hit points. Time to get on the computer. Sorry, honey, gotta go. I'll be back to you. But, you know, that's just how my brain works. All the time it happens. Like, I'll get tired, I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up with a little bit of vitality, and I'm like, ooh, alright, goodbye. Let's go. My vitality has returned. Like, that's what it's like to me. That's my experience of being an old man so far, is just having my vitality be lost and regaining it and being more grateful every time it comes back to me. But I do hate the speed in which my hit points deplete now. You know, it's like as if I'm slowly being poisoned, because the points just go down like a poison status. You know, I'm just over here talking in metaphors and making jokes about age, but, you know, I'm not even that old. I'm like 40, and I'm not 40. I'm like 38. So, in case you ever wondered how old I am, not that that is a secret or anything, but we will slide this into this one, and let's bring that up. And because I have it mapped to alt, it's just a little weird with alt. I have to throw that in there. Of course, it's going to be a little weird, but that's fine. Any sort of reinforcement we offer, and also because like I got some acquaintance time with this setup this morning, it ain't going to make me look like a fool again. But that part where I'm initially confused by the setup, I am quite addicted to that feeling. Not so much that I want to recreate it and give it to you to customers, but I do like that feeling. It's a curious feeling of using another man's configuration. I mean, not another man, I'm that man. Of course I know him, he's me, like the Obi-Wan meme, but I do enjoy just getting in here and testing these configurations when they feel foreign to me, even though I'm the one making them right now. I do look forward to the day when people are submitting their setups to me and they're like, hey, give this one a try. Just want to try on so-and-so file. I'll be like, oh, all right, let's find out. I mean, that's what the kind of things that we're doing with the testers, just you know, trying their configuration. There's some files on the second install playlist where basically I would go over kind of some of that. Let's for this one, I'm going to press Alt-4, jump over to install, and we'll just pull this. Of course, if this thing's too small, we can just drag that and scale it up now. So now we have big buttons. You know, they call me big insolve. No, wait. Little insolve, big in-suite. Big in-suite, little insolve. That's what they call me on the streets, alright? Just letting y'all know. And we'll jump back over to inflow, little inflow. You know, we might need to do some scaling stuff related to nflow as well, just because I don't want to miss out on the fun. But really, I don't think it has scale issues. And I say that, and a user will say, "Excuse me, sir, I have a scale issue." And I'll say, "Damn it, where'd you come from? Who are you?" No, I'm playing. But I do enjoy all the correspondence that people give me, especially in private. You know, it's such a dignified thing to say privately, "Hello, sir, I have error." You know, so many people are quick to point out things publicly and make them a public spectacle, which, if you make it a public spectacle, I will solve it publicly. Not even in a bad, threatening way, just meaning I will solve your issue. I will solve it either way. Like, however you report the issue, I will solve it. I'm not even threatening or saying not to do anything a certain way. I'm just saying that I do love it when people PM me and they're like, "Hey, got a bug." And even more when they're like, "Yo, I got a screenshot of the bug report and the situation that caused it." You know, when you send me that, I'm like, "Oh, snap. This guy, whoever this is, this person deserves a follow-up response when the issue is fully resolved," due to being so cordial. You know, cordiality is the only thing I can respond to decency with is further decency, which is why I try to always maintain an air of decency. Because when things get ugly, you know, there's really no way to go forward. And I hate that. But it is, misunderstandings is something I personally study in my life, because my life is defined by misunderstandings. Like, so often am I misunderstood, or the severity of my ambitions misunderstood, that it causes interpersonal complications. And I just wonder how to get around such things. But life is its own series of lessons, you know, and I'm learning each of those lessons as I discuss it with you guys. Lessons are being learned. And I think I have inset just a little too accessible. And the Z fighting, like, the thing about Analyze is Analyze has such a road to go. But right now, Analyze is analyzing. So step one is get the tool to do the thing. And step two is get the tool to do things that the tool wasn't originally supposed to do, wasn't in the scope. You know, and this is the part where people start getting mad and hating me. You know, they start writing my name on paper and throwing it into the fireplace, you know, in order to curse me and my family's name, which you can't curse my family name. They're all damn near dead. Everybody's dead. Everybody I've ever disliked has died. I mean, I didn't kill them. You know, we all live so bad. Everybody just dies. So, you know, you just dislike anyone long enough. Just watch them long enough. You'll watch them leave this mortal coil, or you will. And either way, your issues will be satiated one way or another. So we are just working and modeling and cutting. And how do we want to handle this? I want to place a loop here, and that loop can connect all the way over here. So more onto life lessons with MX. Ooh, that's not going to work. You know, sometimes a try can just sit. In fact, I look at this and I'm thinking, well, maybe I do want this to be painted and then inset. So something like that. And then we at least are able to protect our entry points. And anytime I'm able to slide an overlapping piece of geo, just know that an angel gets its wings, and I'm able to smile. You know, like nunnally. It's nunnally smile. That's the smile I give geometry when it works out. You know, in case you ever wondered the meaning behind nunnally smile, it's basically get your geometry together, Lelouch. You know, or else I'm going to have to send Suzaku after you, who's serving the... Sorry, I'm over here about to start talking about Code Geass. Alright, let me stop. People don't even know what I'm talking about, so let me just stop while I'm ahead. But I've been thinking about all these classic shows of the past that I missed. You know, I might give Code Geass a rewatch. And whenever it comes to anime, you know what my least favorite anime is? But I've seen the most, is this anime called Claymore. It was a really popular anime with one of my old friends that moved away. But basically it's about these women of the sword, and it just gets so cringy with the amount of exposition. But I think the last time I watched it, I was like, you know what? I think this is the last time I will visit this on a yearly pilgrimage. To be replaced with Berserk 1986, because that old classic is great. I mean, the first episode with the Black Swordsman taking out the Count who was taking control of the city. It just led to the story so good, and then the whole God Hand monologue at the beginning of every episode about how man can't control his own fate. I love it. So it's a shame that it went away. It's also a shame that the show got probably the worst season on TV ever. Like, I was trying to watch it with my woman to introduce her to it, and the horse got a bit, I don't know what's the right word to describe this horse. I could use the literal word that was described. The horse got a bit rapey, and I don't know if that was good for you. Actually, no. The rapey horse was not what made it go bad. It was just a CG anime. Actually, that part did suck. Like, just seeing the show simplify the beautiful animation of the original with just CG versions of everything. Like, I mean, I still love Egg of the King, which is like the movie remake of Berserk. Like, I'll still watch the heck out of that, even though it is CG, but it's like high quality CG anime. I mean, I can't be complaining about such things, because anime's hard. And what we want to do is have the loop only go so far. We don't want it to go all the way around. So I'm just thinking about how I want to do that. Maybe something like so. And just like that, we are solving our way around. And really, the process of solving should be easy. We're just having fun with what we are doing. Because what are we doing? And also, how can we make it faster? These are the questions we got to ask, because the faster way is always hidden inside all the work. So I'm hoping to get this to a point where, people are laughing at the work being done. They're like, oh man, you don't want to do that, but you have to do that. Right now, this is the meta of topology, is getting in and basically solving and cleaning it up. But of course, there is a better way. Just like in Overwatch, they determined that 4 certain characters were the meta. In a way, the GOATs kind of destroyed Overwatch. I mean, me and my buddy used to play Overwatch, and what really took it away from us for enjoying it was first of all, the fact that we always had to play with other people. I mean, we tried to play with bots all the time, but bots are boring. But it's such a team-oriented game with toxic teamwork that no one wanted to work as a team. Everybody wanted to kind of be a last action hero, and so you'd be getting yelled at for people who were trying to do their last action hero thing, and obviously getting murked, because there's a cure for every character in the form of another character, and the cure for every character is probably Reinhardt. So with that, we now have that part cleaned up. But I keep saying that, and then I see that there's like a few little stray tries. But the way that it feels, there's a feeling that I'm measuring when I'm working that is way beyond these gestures, because I'm telling you guys, my modeling stamina is lessening. Like, I'm trying to exercise in order to become stronger, but I'm still losing like modeling stamina. Like, one day I have to be doing videos talking about how you can model longer and go longer in bed modeling, of course. I mean, if you're modeling from bed. But I'm highly obsessed with it, because my will to model never diminishes. Just my capabilities. And we'll go ahead and get rid of these as well. Sorry, I froze up thinking about what inset gave me. Like right here. And that inset on control, I don't know if it's going to be ideal. Maybe something like so. And then let's make that connection. Right click, and we'll just get that one loop just to shut that down all the way down. And are we trying to get rid of all end guns, guys? because we could resolve it. In fact, I don't like having to solve things in such a fashion. One, two, oh god, I always keep missing this area, and we could get that one loop to make it a quad area, but sometimes with triangles it's just a question of, should we just let it live? Because we also have the same issue happening here. So how do we resolve that? Well, in this case it's a reduction that reduces it. In fact, triangles, I would like triangles to be pulsing whenever they're present. And of course someone on the team heard that and they're like, dude, I quit, dude. You said you'd stop doing stupid stuff to analyze. I quit. But no, I'm just joking. I do need more information letting me know that the areas that are still here need resolution. Like, so I need to somehow convey that part. Like, our goal is to get this to a certain level, and then from there begin making it much more entertaining and much more addictive. But the first things we have to do with that is make it work. We have to make it work so good, because, you know, just like with Box Cutter, you know, for us to be able to add sound effects to it, we had to have it a certain level. Alright, had to take a quick break to blow my nose and deal with a support issue. A customer pointed out that basically DICE used to have shift to live, and I argued saying, no it didn't, and he proved me a dumbass. So, I had to admit that I was wrong, and I hate that, but, you know, if you're right, you're right. And he was right. DICE used to have shift to live, and at some point in the transition between 2D DICE, we lost that. So now I have to put it back because, like I said, he was 100% right. And also, this loop that we added, this loop is, let's go ahead and dissolve that. First, let's see how far it went. Too far. I apologize for that. I was about to make that work out. Let's jump back in here. But yeah, if our goal is to remain consistent in the future with the stuff that we did in the past, but of course over time things have to be rewritten, have to be reanalyzed, and as a result, and I say that as I turned on analyze, the irony is not lost on me, but yeah, every idea is always being reanalyzed, rethought, just to make sure, because, you know, the hardest part of hard ops is making it continue to live in the future, where in the future it's being hunted like a mutant to extinction. So, you know, how do we survive the Sentinels? Anyone who's able to admire the beauty of a tool continuing to live even 15 years after its birth. Also, why am I putting all these loops here? I don't need all these loops. Let's and let's turn on analyze, look at it one last time. And that was a 22-minute journey just through doing this, and I'll look forward to also showing what this looks like when we take it through easier means, because there are easier means to do this, but of course we want to go through and manually care for each part one by one, just to make sure that it gets the love and attention it needs. So for our camera, let's Shift G, we'll choose parent, and we can't see it because I have empties disabled visually. So let's bring this over. We'll place it here and zoom around this part. So now we can actually isolate around this. Let's take this back into local mode alone. We will turn off empties from displaying because we just don't need it at this moment. And this is what our topology is looking like. And, you know, as I look at this, I'm like, should I end the video with topo looking so inadequate? No. Eventually the topo boys will come out and tell me, like, hey, your topo sucks, bro. So we gotta make sure it's something beautiful. Really just looking at this area. Let's bring these two together. And we see that merge is getting a little specific with what we're going to get away with here. something like this. And if we look at this, of course, I already knew what I was creating here. And how do we resolve it? We do the old diamond redirect. And let's turn on subdivision again. And the video was almost over until I started judging my own topology. And then it's like, oh, I gotta get back in there and make corrections. But for us to survive this, we just need to hold together the areas that we need to. But, you know, there is a such thing as holding it in style. And I'm just looking at that thinking, is that style? Not my style. You know, we could put an additional loop here to basically hold that area together as far as integrity goes. I mean, same thing here. We just place one more loop and it's holding it together better. But we at least survived the conversion of this part to subdivision. And maybe I'm being too hard on myself, saying, hey, this difficult part needs to also have beautiful topology. Perhaps that is where I'm going wrong with it. But we will just continue and move on to the next part, because our goal is to survive, but also dominate. We want to dominate and maybe dominate a little bit in style. So with that, I will close out this video. I'll thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
So proud, the glowing mark of hops my shroud. No one will pass my nights of purple light. Reanimated ghouls, ready for the fight.
Nobody and sweet fate entwined.